Welcome to Movie World, the place where we only talk movies. I'm Andy Signor, and today I'm reviewing Coming to America. Now, I am a huge fan of the original from 1988, and when this came out, I was excited. I was excited because I love this movie so much that I want this to be good. I wanted to love this film as much as the original, but then I was worried because I heard the film was PG-13, and then I was worried because there are so many poor attempts at bringing back popular comedies that just never live up to the expectations of the original. So, could Coming to America be that film, that rare exception that works? I was hoping, and I'm pleasantly surprised to say I enjoyed it. Now, look, I enjoyed it. However, it would have been better if it was rated R. It's able to walk the line, I think, finally, of trying to be a more safe film, but there are obvious attempts where they are walking that line very carefully, and I just wish they could have gone over it a few times. The original film isn't so obscene. It just is unabashedly afraid to say what it wants and sort of puts the prince in, yeah, F you too. Like, there's just really funny uses of profanity and sort of explicitness that I think is what made it such a, added it as such a better comedy than others. Eddie Murphy always knew how to use profanity and obscenities in like a way that was actually funny and not just to overdo it. Do you know what I mean? And so, yes, Coming to America, I think, would have been better had they been able to release this rated R, but I am happy to say I still had fun. I enjoyed it. This film is a love letter to the original film, and overall, it just has a sweetness to it that was hard to deny. I really did have fun revisiting all these characters. I was surprised at how much fun I actually had revisiting these characters. They do introduce some new characters. I didn't mind them. I'll be honest. I didn't mind them, but the film, prepare yourself. I think lower the expectations and going a little bit more positively, but expecting to, you're going into a lighter Coming to America. Does that mean it's not funny? No, I actually did laugh quite a few times. And I laughed the most when they were sort of revisiting and using elements of the first in clever ways moving forward. Like what did happen? What have they been up to, etc. Rather than just, using celebrity cameos and stuff, which I feel like some other sequels just fell into, of just like, yeah, how many more celebrities can we pop in? Coming to America does that too. There are some really fun cameo moments, but there are also so many fun cameo moments to the original. They're like, oh, sweet. That actually was funny. There were a few actually that I really did laugh out loud. Overall, I was also worried about this. The premise of the film is that Eddie Murphy, he's Akeem, he's doesn't have a prince, and the Zamunda needs a male heir in order to sort of be the king. And so as James Earl Jones' character, the king is King Joffrey is seemingly passing. He's sort of telling Akeem that he must, what's he going to do? He has 3 daughters. He was unable to have a son. And so it's sort of the ways of Zamunda get on to Eddie Murphy of just like, well, what am I going to do? And that's when we learn that he actually does have a son. I won't spoil how they figure it out, but they do figure out a way to insert themselves into the old movie. They do a little bit of an Irishman moment where you see some young Arsenio and Eddie Murphy intermingled with some clips from the original that I thought actually was kind of clever. They do try to really make it work. And when they do that, he learns he has to go back to America to find his bastard son, in which case he does. His bastard son played by, who was this actor? I actually don't. He was fine. I didn't have a problem with him. I don't know who he was. But he's good. He was good in this movie. And he's not showing up on IMDb close up as I'm staring at it. Anyway, his mom, played by Leslie Jones, it's Jermaine Fowler. Jermaine Fowler plays the character of Lavelle Johnson, and Leslie Jones plays his mom. And she's actually funny. I have to be honest. Sometimes I'm annoyed by her. In this, she made me laugh a few times. She's a good addition sort of into the world of Zamunda and taking it like, oh my God. She does all sort of the crazy stuff one would, realizing what's there. And there's one especially funny moment, I will admit. I won't spoil it. I don't even want to allude to it because you'll know. There's a Leslie Jones moment that come on, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at it. But overall, good addition. So that sort of the fish out of water of them in Zamunda actually does add for some comedy, I had to say. So overall, I was pleasantly surprised by this film. Now again, it's a little sappy, but so is the original if you really go back and follow through on it. The whole themes of those films are still here. And while I think some people I've heard some people are worried it's going to be woke and, oh, it's about, making his daughter the king. No, that the film really does, I think, a clever, smart way of trying to be, how does Zamunda become progressive in a way? How does it sort of move past the sort of old hierarchy of only men can rule? It is 2021, and Akeem's challenge is, well, how do I do that and still respect my elders? Is really what sort of the story is about. So I actually really enjoyed the plot line. I liked the family element. I thought Eddie Murphy was great back as he really does work again. Arsenio, both Eddie and Arsenio are in various characters that you've seen before, as well as a couple new ones, and it's a very clever use of it. Wesley Snipes is also in the film. Here's a poster. Wesley Snipes sort of plays a warring leader from opposite of Zamunda, and he's there to sort of threaten Eddie Murphy's character Azim of saying, like, look, you must marry one of my your daughters. One of them must marry my son, who's kind of a loser, or we're gonna go to war, and I'm just gonna take the throne. And the whole theme of the movie is that, like in the original, Eddie Murphy's, they don't want to just be told who they have to marry, which again is something from the original film. So anybody who's going to be out there complaining about those ideas, it's like, hello, did you watch the first one? Similar themes that I think actually is what made it work. And they didn't go too far in just recreating everything. They definitely recreate a few moments from the first in new ways. But overall, it does feel like, all right, well, what are these characters up to? What's the new story? The new story being he finds out he has a son. The son comes to there. It does surprisingly work. I got to say, again, I will just repeat myself. The one frustration is I do wish they had gone rated R. I think it actually could have made this film even better, but it probably also alleviated a little bit of pressure on them of having to be so funny. The film's funny, but I think the film could have been funnier and felt more in spirit of Coming to America had they really been able to say whatever the hell they wanted. And it's frustrating because I'm sure they did that for a theatrical release because this film was supposed to be in theaters, and I think it would have done really well. It's so sad starting to see some of these films be sort of put out quietly when they could have been big deals, I think, in the theater. I think this one could have done really well for Eddie Murphy, and people would have had a blast laughing in the theaters with this one. But alas, it's on Amazon Prime. So Friday, March 5th, Amazon Prime, you can go tune in and watch and see this for yourself. If you were nervous, go a little bit more positive. I think have fun with this. And remember, look, it's not the original. It's not as good as the original in any stretch of the imagination, but there's still an element to it that's I had a smile on my face for a lot of the movie. I definitely laughed. I definitely had a smile. And overall, I liked these characters enough that I wasn't offended at their return, unlike, say, this one, which this one just actually at times offended me seeing them back. It didn't work. It didn't work seeing these people back. And this one was just so lazy. Hey, let's throw celebrities. Is that funny? Eddie Murphy, Coming to America throws some celebrity cameos in, but it works. I felt like they did it for the sake of that. Wouldn't it be funny if we got this versus, oh, look who's playing this? You know what I mean? Is what I think they wisely made. That's a common theme in comedies, especially like spoof movies and stuff like, oh, let's just look, it's Jack Black. Or look, it's Borat. Or look, it's Napoleon Dynamite. Like all those old spoof movies back. There was no joke. It was just cameo. And in this one, there's one particular cameo that I found was funny that justified it. And so overall, I got to say, I do give this film thumbs up. On a scale of 1 to 10, I forgot. Did I do that last time? I'm going to start giving these films a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10 for Coming to America, 1 being terrible, 10 being amazing, I think I'm going to give this one... Man, this is... I'm really pushing between a 6 and a 7 because a 6 would seem like it's not very good. A 7 is that it's good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's a C. It's a solid C. Entertaining. A C for me is actually a good review. 8, 9, 10 means it's amazing. And a 7 is a solid, respectful number that I think Coming to America deserves. 7 out of 10, yes. Go in, have some fun revisiting these characters. You will laugh a few times. I think hopefully you will smile if you go in expecting that, to have more of a family affair with the film. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. You can see it on Amazon Prime. There you have it. This is Movie World. This is a place where I only talk about movies. If you like this sort of stuff, I'm going to be posting more of my reviews here because they don't do well on my other channel, Popcorn Planet. But you can subscribe to there, or you can subscribe here. I do more commentary on that channel, but either way, hit the bell, smash that like button, and leave a comment down below. What's your excitement level for this film? Are you looking forward to it? Do you wish they hadn't done this? Whatever you got, it just helps the algorithm to talk down below. Appreciate you guys staying tuned here. Stay tuned for more content and more reviews coming here to Movie World. Thanks again, everybody.